Okay, good morning, and it looks like we will be getting started here very shortly. Welcome to everyone who has joined already. I hope everyone is having a great morning, and yeah, we're just gonna jump right into it shortly. Alright. So I think we're good. Let's go ahead and get things started. Hey, there we go. Took a minute. Alright, let's see here. Cool. So everything is looking good. I think we will go ahead and get started. Alright. Got that up. Timer looks great. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, I had a little help getting it ready, and I agree. I think it looks awesome. So let me just go ahead and do that. And yeah, I think we'll just jump right into it. So this is obviously Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. This is easily my favorite game, and it's also let's go ahead and yeah. A little bit of a bumpy start here. Hold on. Okay. So, this is The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. This is my favorite Zelda game. And, so I run this a lot, and one of the categories that I've been big into lately is the 100% category. I always thought it would be really cool to take my favorite game and complete it to the max. Complete it as much as you could possibly complete it. So I've been doing the 100% category a lot. And there are really two main parts of the 100% category that you have to kind of watch out for. And I've got those marked on my timer as the two RNG parts. So there are two heart pieces that you have to get, because in 100% you get all of the heart pieces. And one of them is the digging game. And the digging game, you do 24 digs, and then you have a 1 in 8 chance of the heart piece showing up. So it's kind of reliant on chance. And then the chest game is just a flat 1 in 8. So both of them tend to be pretty variable in how they show, so yeah. And completed in Japanese, it's true. There are a few reasons why I play the Japanese version, and I'll be pointing those out as I go. There are some Japanese, this is specifically the Japanese 1.0 version of Link to the Past. And there are some glitches that are specific just to this version. So everybody runs this version that goes for competitive times. So I'm doing the same. Good morning, Mirne. Yep, early. Welcome. Yep, so we're just going to make our way through escape. The only thing to note here is that I will actually intentionally skip getting the boomerang here. And that's a step that's specific to the 100% category. Also, you'll notice I walked a little up under that bridge. That was intentional. If I walk above the halfway divider on that bridge, then that guard will not aggro towards me. So that's why I did that. But that room had the boomerang in it. We skipped the boomerang. So the reason why we skipped the boomerang is because if you don't get the boomerang there, the game tries to help you out, thinking that you somehow managed to miss getting the boomerang. And so it puts the upgraded boomerang in a chest later on that you can get to. So we're going to take advantage of that to get both of the boomerang upgrades at once. You're tired too? I feel you. Morning streams are a new thing for me, so this is going to take some getting used to, but that's also why I chose a game that I am pretty familiar with. Playing this game is just like riding a bike, so shouldn't be too bad. Also, welcome, Jenny. I appreciate you being here. Earliest you've been awake in a while? I can agree with that. I don't typically wake up before 6 o'clock in the morning, but I did today, so there you go. Guess you can't complain about it being early. Technically, it's maybe a little bit earlier for me than it is for you. But, you know, early is early. That's how it goes. Still weird to watch speedrun strats of this game. You keep imagining wandering aimlessly. Nope, another door. Yeah, it's very much a, you know, oh, go here, do this type of thing. So, oh. Yep, so we're just going to make our way through escape. I am actually going to pick up the safety here. I don't usually grab it, but because I am boomerangless, this room is actually a little scary with the snakes. So, and then here I'll have to dodge these as well. So usually what I can do is I can use the boomerang to stun those and then just get past them, but because it's 100%, I don't really have the option to do that. Okay. And we do have enough time built in. The two spots that I'm worried about the most as far as RNG, they come about 50 minutes into the run. So we will have enough time. If those go sideways, we'll have enough time to give it one more attempt. I walk along the left wall there because the bats can't hit you. Even if you're walking directly straight, they can't. And here's the first trick of the game. Zelda usually has a text box here. I just skipped it. And there's the second one. And, you know, I'll take that for an early morning escape. That's okay. What'd that rat ever do to you? Everything. Oh god. Those rats are very RNG. They are very unpredictable. And they tend to, if you walk into that room with too low health, they tend to get kind of friendly and maybe try to knock you out. So, yeah. Less talky, more running. Zelda. Yep. So we're going to walk along here, and that's going to force a certain pattern for this guard so that I can just walk right past him. And if I do it right, I won't get hit by that sword. And we'll just walk past him as well. And yeah, this is the slowest part of the game because we don't have the boots yet. So we're kind of just walking around Hyrule. You're freaking out when you heard the beeping? Nah. For escape, the beeping is pretty normal, honestly. Especially without the boomerang. If I had the boomerang, it would be a lot easier to not take damage. But missing the boomerang, not so much. I might need that money, so we'll grab it. So, in normal no major glitches, it's usually a case where you have to intentionally pick up some money going into Palace of Darkness. In 100%, we don't have that issue, but there are some cases where we can run out of money. If Digging Game and Chess Game go wrong, then we don't have to worry about running out of money, because they give us lots of money. So. I totally trusted you weren't gonna die. Totally 100% trusted it. Yeah. Internal screaming. My slow is still so fast. Well, thank you. I like to think I've given this a fair amount of practice. So. No. So normally when you go in that room, you walk up to the pot, pick it up, walk left, and then down a little past the middle of the room and toss it right. And if you do that right, you only get 2 skeleton spawns. So you'll always toss that one and then grab the second pot and toss it into the second one. I tossed my pot up instead. That was a little bit of a accidental thing. But that's okay, we have backup strats for that room too. The key is always under that pot. There's safety hearts in both of those pots. And the safety hearts are important because the trick we're about to do is going to take a little bit of life from us. So this room, you normally get the big key by killing all of the enemies, and then you can get to a switch that makes the chest appear. But we're just going to do this. So I damage boosted off of that enemy, picked up the pot that was protected by those enemies, and then just stepped on the switch. Best backup strats coffee? You know it, dude. Can blame it on lack of coffee. Yeah, I'm gonna say that early morning is probably contributing just a little bit, but we're actually still doing pretty okay here. Probably about 8 or 9 seconds off right now. There's the key. Okay, nice. If you pick up those pots in that order every time, those enemies in that room will not get you. It's a good spot to pick up arrows too, so that I'm not having to farm arrows in the last room. So we'll charge the sword walking in here, so we can do this trick. Alright, and we're good to go. Let's go fight the first boss. So we're gonna line up here on the top wall, and then 5 arrows. And then we just fire into them until they're all done. That was probably one of the best Armoses I could have asked for. Game still looks gorgeous, doesn't it? It's amazing. It's my favorite game, easily. Yeah, there are a few different setups on the Armos Knights there. I use that one, and it's pretty consistent. So, yeah, thanks for the GG. Oh, we're gonna... Oh. I need to skip split here. It's really high up there for you. Nice. Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorites, for sure. So we're going to pick up the boots here, and that's going to let us get into this back room. And we need the money and the bombs, both. But we need the bombs a little more. Because we're going to have to pick up a heart here. Oh my god. There we go. I couldn't remember what my skip split was. Alright, so first trick is spin speed. So what we do is we charge the sword, release it, and then on the next frame, we press dash. And it basically stores our dash speed so that we can run really fast. It only works on stairs, so yeah. We use that to speed up just a little bit, and that trick is exclusive to the Japanese 1.0 version of this game. And we'll use it a few more times before it's up. Welcome, Wolfie. And yeah, free every time. Oh, except that time. We'll see if we can get the other one. Okay, so yeah, we're good. Let's just go ahead and head to desert. Hey, welcome. Eyelids are propped up by toothpicks. I hear ya. I actually have 2 cups of coffee here. So that's one thing I typically do for a little bit longer runs, is because I won't have time to get up and refill the cup in between. I make 2, and we just work our way through it. It's all good. Yeah, look at him go. Yeah, the dungeon coming up is a little dangerous in terms of light world dungeons. The boss in this dungeon tends to be a little bit of a pain. But everything else about desert isn't too bad. Now that's a winning strat. So we always pick up that pot because it has arrows. And this is another case where we're going to spend a lot of time farming arrows. Because arrows deal more damage than our weak sword would normally do to the boss in this dungeon. So we're going to use the bow quite a bit, but it's a little tricky. Good morning, Sheep Machine. How's it going? You really need to get into Simpsons Hit and Run speedrunning? I just saw recently they were doing a speed gaming tournament of that, and I don't know much about it, but I've never met a speedrun I don't like, so... Alright, let's see. We should be good. We shouldn't have to grab any additional pots here, because we'll get another set of arrows here coming up. Yeah, the launch went pretty good, I think. I mean, lots of fun stuff to watch. 1636 isn't terrible on gloves. Honestly, I'm thinking we're probably looking at about a 29-minute Master Sword or less, so that's still pretty good. So we're gonna run down here, grab this heart piece. Since we are doing 100%, we have to grab all the heart pieces. And then there's gonna be one more heart piece that we'll have to grab before we leave desert. Launch went great for sure. Yeah, it was a good time. Here. There you go. Oh. Boom. So there's not too much to talk about with Desert. It is a pretty linear dungeon. Both of those pots are hearts, but I don't need both of them, so... And we've got 26 arrows here, which is a really, really high count of arrows. So we're pretty good to go. So what we're going to do to set up for this boss is we're going to dash up here to intentionally bonk on the wall. And then... line up for some arrow shots. This is going pretty well so far. That was not a bad Lamos. Alright, so we got some of our time back. Thanks for the GG. I appreciate it. Alright, so we're going to grab one more heart piece, and then we're going to do our next minor glitch. So we'll be doing that shortly. Most painless encounter with the Lamelas that you've ever seen? Yeah, they can be a pain. You basically... The reason why I dash up there and bonk is I try to line up with the first spot that they're going to spawn at. And then I just try to fire arrows into all of them really quick. So... that's actually probably one of the best Lamo fights I've had in a long time. Okay, so we got that heart piece. Next up is going to be a trick called fake flippers. So normally what you would have to do is the game would say, okay, you've got the gloves, it's time to go to the Tower of Hera. So you'd normally run all the way up the map to the entrance to Death Mountain, and you'd go up Death Mountain to the Tower of Hera. Well, it turns out that a faster way involves going through a whirlpool over here that leads up to that general area. But you normally need flippers to get there. So what we do is we jump off into the water, and on the same frame that we land in the water, we transition to the next screen. And so the game says, okay, well, you went to the next screen and you're in the water, so you must have the flippers. So it gives you a trick called fake flippers. You trick the game into thinking that you have the flippers. And that allows us to swim into that whirlpool. We will have to pick up a heart piece on the way down. I always forget this one on the way up. But there's one right by Sanctuary that we'll have to grab. That trick can be so scary, yeah. One of the dangers with fake flippers is if you get hit, the game will soft lock. So you have to be really careful to not get hit there. It can completely kill a run. I've lost runs to that. So, and it's because what happens is when you get hit when you're in fake flippers, the game tries to return you to the spot that you were in when you started the fake flippers. Well, if you switch screens, then that spot is no longer there. So what it does is it tries to return you, it fails, and you get stuck. So many things you're just holding your breath on. Yeah. Alright, so coming up here is going to be one of my favorite things. It's a trick called, or it's a room called the coffee break room. And it is aptly named because what we're going to do is we're going to use a trick to hang out on those switches there and stay invulnerable. And yeah, we're going to get to enjoy our coffee a little bit. So we trigger the switches to go stand on top of them. So we're standing on the switches when they come up. The game doesn't know where to put us down, so we keep invulnerability frames through the whole thing. So we're just going to watch these tiles go until the door opens. Alright, there we go. Alright. Yeah, it's basically an auto-scroller. Yeah. It's fortunately the only one of its type in the entire thing. But yeah. Yeah, but it is a good opportunity to enjoy the coffee a little bit, so I can't complain too much. So the next trick we're going to go for here is going to be a bomb jump. So we need to get over this gap to save a little time. So what we're going to do is we're going to nestle right up to it. And then we dash into the wall to get a little airtime. And the bomb propels us over that gap. So normally the way that the game intends for you to do that is to run up to the floor above, hit the switch, and then you can run, or you can fall down a hole that shows up, but we're not going to bother with that. The bomb jump is way faster. So. Come here. He's being a little crazy right now. So this boss has his final phase right now that he's in, where he's very angry. He goes a little crazy, tries to knock you off this platform. You gotta be a little careful. Alright. But we got him. And that's the third pendant, so after a couple additional things, we'll be headed right to grab the Master Sword. I'm gonna do so well, my narration is top-notch. Thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot. So we go ahead and rip spin speed off of those stairs, and then we're gonna jump in here and grab the heart piece. Wake up, it's the bottom door. Thanks for the GG, I appreciate it. Yeah, Moldorm can be a little bit of a pain. Honestly, not getting any falls against him is kind of the goal. If you fall down, you have to start that fight over again, so it's kind of a bummer when that happens. Okay, so we got the two spectacle rock hearts. So we're gonna run down, not forget bonk rocks, and then we'll grab the Master Sword. So yeah, we're probably still looking at around a 29-minute Master Sword, which isn't too bad. I think probably the lowest I've gotten with it is around 25 minutes. But that can definitely still go lower. And there are a few heart pieces that we'll also be picking up in the Lost Woods. Or one, specifically. Heart piece and an additional item as well. So normally I would have to farm rupees there at that tree. But because I picked up the rupees in the back of Sahasrala's hut, words. Because I picked up those rupees, we don't have to worry about it. And we can just kind of continue on. You're going to be running at AGDQ? Yes, I will be. I will not be running this game, but I will be running at AGDQ. I'll be running a game called Lightfall. Yeah, in fact, if you look on the schedule, around Wednesday the 9th, I believe, at about 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, you'll see me running Lightfall. Yeah, we got the Master Sword. Yeah, around a 29-minute Master Sword is kind of what I was expecting, which isn't too bad. If I get good digging game RNG and chest game RNG, then we can probably make something of this. So we'll grab the mushroom. It's another one of those items that we'll need to get to fill out our 100% completion. Then we're going to hop in here, grab this heart piece. And then we'll be off to make our way to the Dark World. Unfortunately, since this is no major glitches, I can't use any fancy tricks to get to the Dark World. So I have to go through it the normal vanilla way, which means we're gonna go beat Aghanim. Congrats, Lightfall is very pretty. Thank you, I appreciate that. I really enjoy the game. I tell the developers often that I think they did a great job with it. It's just very fun to play. And yeah, I mean, how can you go wrong with platforming, right? But thanks for the congrats, I appreciate it. I just pulled up the page and sure enough he's right there. Can confirm, going to GDQ. It's so exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. So we're going to charge backwards so that we can hit both those guys with our spin. It's a little bit of a safety strat, but it's so much easier than just trying to walk in there forwards and hit them. So we keep going for it. It's nice to have consistency. We're just going to grab this key here. Oh, you... Yeah, these guys are friendly. And we use it again here. Helps in that dark room, but for that one, you're kind of just charging for a little bit, and then you try to release on a decent spot. You don't really have a visual cue for it, so that's kind of unfortunate. Oh. Seems good. Alright, got past him. You wish you knew that strat to take them both out? Yeah, it's pretty handy. That bow and arrow guard always has the key, so we always just go straight for him. We saw nothing. Okay. This spot, you can just go ahead and toss some pots at him. We'll pick up the extra heart there, just because I could definitely use a little health here. Aga Tower isn't too bad if you get the technique down. If you miss a few of the things, then it starts to get a little more dangerous. And this part is a lot easier with the boomerang, but unfortunately we don't have it, so we're just gonna phone it in. And yeah, so we're up to fight Aghanim. And then the only thing with Aghanim is he's got 2 attacks that he can do. One is a single energy blast that you try to reflect back at him by spinning your sword, or if you have it, you can do it with the bug net as well. And the other attack is he fires a number of small blue projectiles at you that you can't reflect back, and they deal damage. So we're always going to spin here because the first shot is always one that you can reflect. It's the game's way of saying, look, here's the strategy. But then after that, every shot is a 50-50 chance. So. Currently at work, so you're lurking, no worries. Enjoy the lurk. So after every 4 attacks, Aghanim is going to do this thing where he jumps to the top of the room and shoots lightning at you. So we know to anticipate that. We just kind of hang out while he does it. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. Oh, that was a really good Aghanim. We only got 1 blue attack there. You'll be lurking at work this morning? Sounds good to me. Enjoy the lurk. Yeah, I'll actually be headed to work myself after all of this. But you know what? Nothing wrong with a little morning speedrunning. So we're mashing the buttons on the controller to try to get past the text as quickly as possible. And here we are in the Dark World. So about 35 minutes in, and we're starting the Dark World. Our first stop is going to be the Palace of Darkness. And the Palace of Darkness is why we needed to pick up 100 rupees. So you'll see shortly that we're going to need to use the 100 rupees to get into the Palace of Darkness. Technically 110 rupees. To be fair, you're entering it as well as you listen and watch on the phone. Yeah, no worries. You fell asleep on it as JP wound down? Yeah, it's all good, dude. I know it's early for a lot of people, so we're all gonna be a little sleepy together. It's all good. In case you're snoozing before you get a chance to say it. That's all good. Thanks for the kind words, Mana. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'm glad to be a part of it too. I think it's a really good thing. So, happy to participate. And yeah, we'll just keep showing off some tricks. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you're trying to be available 24/7, it's gonna make for some long nights. Alright, see you around, Mana. Break up Moblin's leg. Nice. Nice Zelda 1 reference there. Pretty solid. Alright, so coming up, we're gonna get to the big chest, and this is going to involve using a trick called the hammer jump. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to buffer this jump just a little bit. There we go. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna line up with the bomb shadow here and clip through this wall. And yeah, we'll just grab the hammer here. And we need one more small key, and then we'll be headed back to the beginning of the dungeon. And then next up is the first boss in the Dark World. So this boss tends to be a little bit of a pain because he's, well, he gets a little dangerous, we'll say. Once you knock, he's got a face mask on, and once you knock the face mask off, the boss gets faster, and his attacks tend to get a little harder to deal with. We're a little low on arrows here too, so we're gonna try to pick some up here. There we go, that'll work. Oh, I forgot I have sword beams. Oh well. But yeah, so the Helmasaur King is a little bit of a tricky boss. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to wait to break his mask until he locks into one of his attacks that keeps him stationary, so that we can try to get a number of hits in on him before... oh, I need hammer here. There we go. I need hammer again. There we go. Well, just lots of practice, honestly. It's, after doing the run over and over and over again, it's just kind of second nature. It's like riding a bike. So we charge our sword here so that we can bump into his mask, and when we do, it'll recoil us off just a little bit so that we're not having to run into him and take damage. 16, 17? Yep. There we go. Riding a Zelda-based bike. Aw, yeah. Dude, if they had a bike like in Pokemon, that would be so good. Uh, 42-minute Palace of Darkness is pretty good. Thanks for the GG. That was not too bad of a Helmasaur fight. We stayed off the arrows, the arrow switch there. It does lose a little bit of time. But with Master Sword, Helmasaur is much easier. There are some categories that fight the Helmasaur King with just the Fighter Sword. It is definitely a much harder fight, especially if you're lower on hearts. But we've got 9 of them. We're pretty good to go. So, yep. So next thing, we'll be headed to grab the flute. And then after that, we've got our 2 big RNG segments coming up after we grab 1 heart piece. And RNG stands for Random Number Generator. Basically, it's always used in speedrunning to indicate something that is a little bit out of your control. So we gotta hope for a little good luck here. This is not the enemy pattern that I wanted. So there we use what's called an item dash to activate the item on the same frame as us dashing. And if we hold it down, that makes us use the item's effect the entire time that we're dashing. So that tends to help with those things that are like long rows of posts and things like that. So we'll pick up a little extra money here. We're gonna need it for some of the stuff coming up. What was that? Yep, that's another Japanese 1.0 exclusive glitch that we use to great benefit just in that one spot. I can't think of anywhere else where an item dash is actually used, so yep. But if you are playing on an English cart of this, you will not be able to use the item dash, unfortunately. Woke you out of your lurk with that? Nice. It's a fun trick. So we grab the flute, and then we'll be headed back to the Dark World. Yeah, it doesn't work on the other versions. The Japanese 1.0 version of this game has a number of version exclusive glitches that are used for the runs. So, aw, so sad. Hey, thanks for the follow. Brain of Jays, nice. Welcome. Enjoy the run. Oh, I was afraid I was going to be in the side of the mountain there, but that worked out to where that was not the case. So coming up is our first bit of RNG. It's going to be fun. It is the digging game. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to exceed 24 digs as quickly as possible. And then after that, we'll have a small chance to pick up a heart piece. This can typically take a while, so we are not discouraged by that just yet. Oh yeah, so fun fact, whenever you do the digging game, it doesn't matter what item you have selected, the game automatically makes you use the shovel. So, we're just sitting here with the mirror equipped and digging stuff up. The game has already switched us to the shovel. So, yeah. Just interesting things. And we're picking up a little money along the way, which is actually sort of helpful. There is one additional thing that we'll need to do, and we will need money for it. And that will be getting the flippers. We'll get those on the way to... sort of on the way to Swamp Palace. Yeah, praying for the RNG, man. It's being a thing right now. Shovel game does lose a lot of time each time you have to do it again, so it's not quite like chest game. Chest game loses probably about 5-10 seconds per, so it's not too bad. But digging game is a pretty long time loss, so we try to get through it as quickly as we can. And it is completely random as to when the game decides to give up the heart piece to you, so... Yeah. And of course, to restart the digging game each time, we do have to leave the screen and come back. Otherwise, the guy will give you this message saying, hey, you've already paid, you've already done it, no more digging for you. Game needs to show some love. Yeah, it's being real friendly with the digging game right now. Yeah, would not mind seeing a heart piece right now. That would be pretty okay. The more you think about it, what a weirdly difficult way to get a heart piece. Yeah, this and the chess game one are the worst ones by far. Because basically the game ignores all the digs that you do up to the 21st dig, or the 24th dig. And then after that it starts giving you the chance to get the heart piece. So the first 24 digs that you do don't matter. They have a 0% chance of dropping the heart piece. So it's basically just a grind to try to get to above that. Which can be a little tricky sometimes. Also, I did notice it was chipping away at our money there a little bit. I'm hoping that we get some more money drops here. It's looking like we are, so... Never taking you this many attempts feels bad? Yeah, it's feeling pretty bad right now. It's not the greatest. But this is kind of why I also set aside a 3-ish hour block, is because the game itself takes around 2 hours. And this occurs in the first hour. So if I get really bad luck, I can always just, you know, pop a reset and we go do it again. Although I'm a little reluctant to, because my Lamos were really good. Hey, Pretty, welcome. Yeah, it's really unlucky. It's really unlucky. We'll give it one more try, I think. It would, but, you know, it's the nature of it. I mean... Hey, we got there. Alright. Let's beat the timer out, at least. That'll save a tiny amount of time. Man. So rough. So cool to wake up and see the channel live. Awesome, dude. So we take advantage of the fact that the digging game and the maze heart are both in the same general part of the world. And we go ahead and mirror over to that, grab the maze heart here. And then, yeah, we'll be off and on our way. On the last try, evil? Yeah, it's... This game can be a little finicky sometimes. Alright, so we're gonna grab a few items here. We do need to grab a few bottles while we're here. This will be the first one. And we'll grab the net. We're gonna activate the flute and grab another bottle on our way to getting the magic powder. How am I doing today? I'm doing pretty good. A little sleepy, but you know, other than that, I can't really complain. Go ahead and skip my horrendous shovel split there. Not really much you can do about that, so... But yeah, all in all, I cannot complain. How are you doing, evil guy? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and grab the bottle here. There is a cooldown on when you can use the flute from when you activate it, so we go ahead and take that opportunity to grab the bottle there, and then we'll activate the flute to get over here and get the mushroom. So you have to leave the screen after giving the witch the mushroom, and then you can run in the shop and it'll have the powder for you. It's good to hear. Awesome. You're just waking up and getting ready to go to work. Currently it's 5 a.m. Yeah, I feel you. We're coming up on 7-ish my time, so... Yeah, definitely a bit of an early morning. So we're gonna grab 2 hearts here. Both of them are behind bombable walls. This is the first one, and then we'll fall down the well to grab the second one. Which, for anybody who has played the randomizer of Link to the Past, you will be very familiar with these 2 spots, because they come up a lot. Also, we definitely need to get some rupees from the chest game. Although I do have a backup set of rupees that I can get as well. So it's not the end of the world, but I would really like to get some rupee drops. Was that really all you had to do? Yeah. Yep. We just needed that 1 heart from each of the bombable spots. I'm actually going to grab these rupees here. Just to make sure, because I definitely don't want to come back after the chest game to get them. That's going to be way slower, so I'll just go ahead and accept the fact that I'm going to need a little extra moolah here. Falling asleep on your phone, oh no. Alright. So next up is the other RNG piece of the game, and we're gonna need some good luck here, otherwise we're not looking at too great of a time because that shovel game took so long. So we're hoping for some pretty good luck here. Hey, first try, I will take that. That is perfectly fine by me. That's the game saying, I'm sorry, forgive me. You feel well rested for once? Nice. Glad to hear it. That bush right there always has a 50-50 chance to drop a bomb, so we're just gonna go ahead and grab it. It's headed to C-shaped house, but I think that was Rando Brain. RNG was on my side there. Yeah, for once it was not too bad. So we're gonna run down here, grab the big key, and then we'll be off to the back half of the dungeon. Thieves Town is a very linear dungeon. And in terms of danger, there's really only a little bit, but the whole dungeon overall can deal a decent amount of damage to you. So that's something to be wary of, because you do only have the green tunic here. So any damage that you take will be the maximum. Yeah, so that's a characteristic of just the 100% run. So if you skip the boomerang in Escape, the normal boomerang, what it does is the game compensates and says, okay, you must have messed up and forgotten to get the boomerang. So what it does is it puts the upgraded boomerang in that chest in Thieves Town. You think it was also linear in Link Between Worlds? Yeah, probably so. Link Between Worlds is a fun game. I haven't finished it just yet, but it's on my list. It's hard to beat the classics, man. And we're at 7 bombs, which is going to be more than enough. We won't have to pick up any more bombs through the whole thing. We will go ahead and switch here, though. I do need some safety health. There we go. Could have also grabbed one to keep for a bottle, but there is one down here that we'll be able to grab, so that'll be pretty good. Another game for me to run? I mean, I have been considering it, maybe. That's a lucky arrow drop, actually. That's pretty handy. Okay, so we got an easy ferry there. Not too bad. So what I did there is I know that that pot has one of those spinning enemies that turns you into a bunny in the Dark World. And if you powder those, they turn into fairies. So what I did was, instead of picking up the pot and letting it show up and then powdering it, you can actually powder it through the pot. And it still turns into a fairy. So it's handy to know about. It's a pretty convenient place to pick up a safety fairy. So do I know the 100% speedrun record for Link Between Worlds? I do not. I don't know a lot about Link Between Worlds. I do know the normal any percent run is about an hour. I want to say it's like an hour 40-minute run. That was an okay blind fight. Alright. Didn't like the mechanic in Link Between Worlds that gave you all the items without having to get them. Yeah. I don't know. I'm torn. I thought it added an interesting dimension to the game. In that you could kind of control how quickly you got items. So you weren't really held back by the progression. But, I mean, at some point, once you grabbed enough items, as long as you didn't die, you were kind of overpowered. Nice blind, thanks. I appreciate it. It was pretty good. I missed the fact that I had sword beams, so I could have stayed back a little bit. Sword beams are really good in that fight, but overall, not a bad fight at all. Alright, so we grab the frog. He's going to give us a sword upgrade. He just doesn't know it yet. And just kind of double checking things here. So this game involves knocking down all the hammer pegs. So we're going to use this 1.0 exclusive glitch to just item dash through all the hammer pegs, and it goes pretty quick. Yeah, it lets you take the game at your own pace, which was kind of nice. If you wanted to power through it, you could, and if you wanted to play it casually, you could. So, not too bad. So, we drop him off. He's a human now. It's complicated. But, we're gonna hop over here and say, hey, you should fix up our sword. That'd be really great. Thanks. Then what we'll do is, we got a few things we're gonna do here. So we're gonna grab this chest. We're gonna hop about right over here. Nope. Too close. Let's go right here. There we go. Oh. I was still standing on something. Okay. We'll get it yet. Okay, there we go. I don't know why that portal was very finicky right there, but you have one complaint overall for that game. You thought the graphics were a little generic. Yeah, I agree with that. There were some parts that I thought were really good. There were some parts that I thought they could have done better with. Okay, so as part of our 100%, we are grabbing half magic. And yeah, it's just convenient to do it while we're over here getting our sword upgrade. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and then we're gonna hop in here. We gotta leave the chest here. Okay, we got our upgraded sword. So now we'll grab this, and we're gonna go drop off the chest. Fun fact, you can flute with the chest, which is really convenient considering you have to travel basically across half the world. We don't have to bother with that. We can just go ahead and hop on over here with the flute. And he's gonna open it up, and we'll get another bottle. And then we'll be headed back to the Dark World. So we're gonna make use of this portal that we left up here to go ahead and warp right back. And we got one more place that we want to hit before we head off to Skullwoods. So we are a little low on rupees for the flippers. You do need 500 rupees to get the flippers. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this chest in here that we know has 300 rupees. Yeah, bottle get. We are at 3 of the 4 bottles. And part of the 100% run does involve getting all 4 bottles. So we'll be grabbing the 4th one pretty late in the game. It's the way that it's routed in, it's one of the last things that we get. And all of the routing depends on when we would normally get to places. So work time for you? You wish you could stay longer? It's cool, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. Oh. Good thing. Alright, let's try this again. Oh my god. They are really working together. That's troubling. There we go. Do unopened chests count in 100%? No, so 100% is specifically just your item screen completion. So, as long as I fill up that screen with all of the items at their fully upgraded version, then I'm good to go. That is the only requirement. That and the 20 hearts, obviously. Okay, so we're gonna go for our second bomb jump here. And miss it. Let's try this again. I gotta get a little close here, so I'm buffering with sword swings. Because when you're swinging your sword, it only moves you at 1 frame per. So it's pretty nice. 1 to 2 frames per. It might be 2 frames if you're moving in a single direction versus diagonally. But it's nice for getting up close to those edges that you kind of want to get close to. Yeah. Bomb jumps are pretty nice. That one's a little tighter than the Tower of Hero one, but not too bad overall. We go ahead and grab the key there. It's going to be a faster way to get the key than what the game probably intends for you to do, which is grabbing the key from this chest coming up. So. And since we have half magic, we can just kind of spam Fire Rod while we're in here. We are a little low on health. That's slightly concerning, but we do have a fairy, so not the end of the world. And we do get an extra heart there. Stop hanging on the ceiling. Oh my god. That's probably one of the worst patterns you can get for Moth. So for Mothula, you have to hit him with the sword or the fire rod. If you hit him into the spikes, what happens is he only takes the spike damage. Well, the problem with that is that Mothula, the way that he's coded, he doesn't actually take any spike damage. So when you hit him into the spikes, he takes no damage from your sword swings. So that can be a bit of a pain sometimes. And yeah, the problem with his pattern at the beginning there is if he hangs on the top wall, the only place you can hit him is the spikes. So all of your hits don't do any damage. So that's why I kept hitting him and trying to get him off that wall. So that was a really bad starting pattern, but we had the safety fairy, that's why we had it, so no big deal there. And I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and pick up our couple of spare fairies here. We actually had the fairy for another trick that we were gonna do to get through Spike Cave without magic. But since we popped that fairy, we're gonna go ahead and pick up a couple extra ones. Just so happens that right by Link's house is a fairy fountain. So if you're ever in need, it's just right here. It's pretty convenient. And we are in need. So one of the normal out-of-the-way things that you have to get is the Quake Medallion. And the reason for that is because in the vanilla game, when you're playing it glitchless, the only way to get into Turtle Rock is the Quake Medallion. That's what opens up the entrance to Turtle Rock. So we gotta go grab that. That's gonna involve talking to the catfish up here. So we're gonna take a nice little stroll here. It is a little bit of a walk. But the nice thing is, once we're there, the Quake Medallion just happens to be around the same spot that we pick up the flippers. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the medallion, and then we're going to mirror away from this spot to the light world, so that we can pick up the flippers as well. Alright, and we've got 600 rupees, so we're good to go on the flippers. All we need is 500 to buy those. So we're going to head right up and pick them up. Unfortunately, there aren't any fake flipper tricks that we can do here to make running through here faster. But with the boots, it's decently fast, so not too shabby. And it's worth noting that the only thing we technically need the flippers for is to complete Swamp Palace, because we can use a similar fake flipper trick to what we used before to get into Ice Palace without using the flippers. But unfortunately, fake flippers do not work inside of the dungeon, so wait, I need fire out here. I was gonna switch to flute, but I don't flute here. I just go through the warp. So we're gonna go down here and make use of another one of these whirlpools that will drop us right by the entrance to Ice Palace. And we do have half magic, so we can be pretty free with our magic uses here. Yeah, half magic's pretty convenient. If the RNG spots in the run are the reason why I'm maybe not as crazy about the run, the half magic part is definitely one of the parts that I enjoy about it. It's really convenient. That, gold sword, silver arrows, all that good stuff. This dungeon is cool. Oh my god. actually sort of low on bombs here. Yep, that's mana for you. Okay, extra bomb should help here. That was convenient. That sword beam actually saved me from taking a hit there. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll hop in here. We're gonna line up for a trick, another bomb jump, except this one is a little more precise. So what I had to do there was I had to drop the bomb at the top of the screen, and then I had to position myself on an exact pixel at the edge there. The left side wasn't as important, but the top pixel is pixel precise. So I have to be on a very specific pixel there. And we got it. So that was kind of nice. One of the fun facts about sword beams is when you have sword beams and you're hitting an enemy, if both the beam and the sword are hitting the enemy, the beam takes precedence, and the beam does significantly less damage. So that's why that guy just wouldn't die. I have cold feet about the RNG. I do. I'm not crazy about the RNG. And welcome, Umbra. It's great to see you. Oh wait, I don't need this. We'll just go ahead and pop on through here. I thought that I needed to grab the safety there, but we actually grabbed a couple safeties earlier. So we're pretty good to go. I do need to leave Ice Palace with at least one fairy. So that's why I was maybe checking for a fairy there. Alright, and that was Cold Stare. Cannot complain about that fight at all. So Cold Stare has a pretty... There's definitely a scripted pattern to the fight. What you do is you use the Fire Rod to break his first form. But you do it in a way to where once you've broken that shell around him, you charge your sword. You can do it in any direction, but you line up to where your sword spin will send all of the parts of Cold Stare into that corner, that top right corner. And then you just go up there and keep hitting all of them. And because they take rebound from your sword, it keeps knocking them back into the corner, which sets them up to take as many hits as you like. The only thing you have to worry about is they like to drop icicles on you sometimes, and that's kind of a pain. Alright, let's not mirror on the bush this time. There we go. So next stop is going to be the reason why we grabbed the fairy. We are going to have to grab a heart piece from within Spike Cave. And normally the way that you do this is the game intends for you to get the cape, and then get through the cave using the magic from the cape so that you don't take any damage from the spikes. But what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and hop in there. We've got a few fairies. We should be good to go. And this is kind of the most convenient time to get this one. Because there aren't very many trips that we take up to Death Mountain. Alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to activate spin speed. Oh, and then we got hit by a spike, so it killed it. That's fine though. We'll have enough magic to get out of here, so that's the important part. But it is fun to note that even that tiny little that tiny little set of steps there in Spike Cave will also activate spin speed. Because the requirement for the spin speed is that you are on steps when you activate it. So we'll grab Ether, and then we'll be on our way to the next dungeon. You have to head out. Good luck with the rest of the run. Thank you, Mirne. I appreciate it. As always, thank you for stopping by. And I hope you have a good day today. I'll see you around. So I know my heart total is looking pretty bad here to go into Mire, but it turns out that we have just a little bit of a routing trick here that's going to help us out. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pick up this heart piece before we head in. And that should fill me up. And it didn't. So, yikes. Might have to look back through. I might be missing one. I know which one I'm missing. I'm missing the pyramid heart. Okay. Well, this dungeon got a little scarier, but there are some safety hearts in here. Or some safety fairy spots in here. So we're pretty good to go. We'll just have to be a little careful at the beginning here. There should be... After this room, there should be a fairy. We kind of don't want to get the key there, because there's a key. If you activate the switch under that pot around the spikes, there's a key. But being around spikes, it's something that we would normally take damage from, and so kind of not looking to do that. It's not gonna work out. I was gonna grab it there, but I think we're pretty good here. I just gotta be careful to not take damage from the slug, which we didn't, so we're good. Yep. We've got a fairy spot coming up, though. And we shouldn't be running into anything else here. So I think we should be pretty good. Alright, so we need one more key. Well, actually, yeah, we do need one more key. We'll go ahead and grab it, because it is going to be faster to do this with the key. But there, of, I guess, interesting note, is that there are two different ways to get to the boss door here. One on the left and one on the right. since we do have to go back right to get the cane anyways, we'll go ahead and grab the key that we need for the right side, and that should save a little bit of time. In this part, the game usually expects you to have the hook shot to get over there, but if you're fast enough with your dash, you can do it. We take advantage of that to be able to do this before Swamp Palace. Because the way that we route in Swamp Palace, that puts us close to some of the other collectible items that we want. And so we can kind of just work our way over from Mire. There's a half magic over to the left there. Or not a half magic, but a full magic drop. But we don't need it because we've got half magic, so... And all I gotta do is just remember to pick up the pyramid heart at some point. Probably, honestly, gonna be when I go to fight Ganon. Let's hit the switch real quick. Some of my favorite memories of this game and what got you into speedrunning it. Some of my favorite memories. Honestly, this game is the whole reason why I got a Super Nintendo. I saw this game and it made me want the console. There are lots of other good games on it, but as a kid, this game just blew my mind. And then, I guess, for a while, there were a few years where I would just play through the game, just for fun. I'd play through it all the way through just because I loved the game. I'd probably do it like 2 or 3 times a year. It was just a fun game, and I stopped doing that for a while. And just recently got back into it. I was watching, actually a GDQ, and I saw someone running this game, and I was like, man, this actually seems like it would be really fun to run. And it is. It's incredibly fun to speedrun this game. Yeah, like Breath of the Wild on the Switch. Yeah. Breath of the Wild is definitely one of the reasons why I want to get a Switch, for sure. I would say Odyssey and Octopath Traveler are also other reasons. So, yeah, it's full circle. But that's good. Like, I think that's healthy, because there was definitely a period of time there where there were version exclusives that people weren't as excited about, like Skyward Sword, Wind Waker. I don't feel like people were as excited about, but it's an amazing game. It's really, really good. It's probably in my top 3 or 4 Zelda games. Yeah, I was inspired by seeing GDQ runs, and then, you know, here I am getting to go to a GDQ. It's a dream come true, so it's pretty nice. It is pretty great. Okay, so we got Shack Heart. So we need this heart. So what I did there was I took advantage of the fact that I was still on the mirror, and I used another 1.0 exclusive glitch, which is effectively when you push a block while the block is moving, the block doesn't have a solid state. So if you do anything to interrupt the movement of the block, it just disappears. Like, there's no solid version of it for the game to go back to. So we take advantage of that to just activate the mirror in the middle of moving the block. The game is like, no, you can't use the mirror. And it cancels the mirror action, but the block never comes back. So it's pretty handy. You hope Skyward Sword will get there because it's one of your favorites. I need to give it another chance, maybe. But I tried it and I wasn't a huge fan. It didn't feel close enough to a Zelda game. Like, it felt like they were, I guess, trying to show off some of the some of the newness of the tech and the new console and things like that, and it was not as good. But that was probably my same complaint for Twilight Princess on the Wii also, was that a lot of it was like, here, look at the Wiimote, here are some new mechanics, and it's like, well, I don't want that, I just want the Zelda game. Wind Waker is definitely bigger after the fact, I agree with that, yep. Yeah, I thought that Wind Waker, really, I thought both of the GameCube ones, which is Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, I thought they were both exceptional. Probably some of my favorites. Twilight Princess is tied for the #2 spot. I actually need that heart piece. I don't know if I can grab it on the way out. We'll see. We'll see. I meant to grab that, and then I didn't. So we'll just try to remember. Took advantage of the item dash there with the hammer. Hammers can break pots, or the hammer can break pots rather. So we take advantage of that to item dash through the pot, grab the key, and then dash back down. This for first, and what are my second choices? My second place is tied between Twilight Princess and Zelda 1. I'm not very good at Zelda 1, but I really enjoy the game. I need a key here. Let's grab that. And then I guess third would probably have to be Wind Waker. Yeah. Twilight Princess was just an exceptional game. Like, I feel like they did exactly what they needed to with the series when they came out with that. It just felt like the appropriate sequel. But I do only like it on the GameCube. The Wii controls are a little funky. Yeah, well, I think they're all good in their own right. They all brought something different. Zelda 1 was this, you're on your own, go explore. Oh, but your main purpose is saving the princess. Okay, cool. I can work with that. You know, I'm a hero, that's all I need to know. Here's a bunch of stuff. Zelda 2 was a departure from that, in that they showed you the princess right off. And then they were like, hey, by the way, all your attacking and navigation through dungeons is side-scrolling. Okay, cool. Well, that's a neat gimmick. And then, obviously you have this, where the main gimmick was the Dark World. The Dark World and the Light World, and the, you know, the fact that they have similarities between them. And this one was, it held your hand a little more, but it did it to such a perfect extent that it never got in the way. It was just like, if you need a hint, it's here. But other than that, you're good. Where's Ocarina on my list? Ocarina would be after Wind Waker. And I haven't really spent a lot of time with Majora's Mask, so it's pretty low on my list. I do need to get to the point where I play it, but I just haven't yet. Or play it all the way through. I have played it, but I guess I just lost interest in it, so I need to go back and play it. But Ocarina is really good. I really enjoyed it. And I guess that's one of the things that's a little tough with Zelda games, is, you know, sitting there and being like, oh, well, this is my 4th favorite game. Well, that still means it's an amazing game. It just, unfortunately, you know, you're comparing golden apples to golden apples. Like, it's hard to make a comparison between great things. But I liked Ocarina a lot. I thought it was a good foray into 3D for Zelda. I thought it was really good. And somewhere in there is Link's Awakening. I liked that a lot. It was perfect handheld Zelda. Yeah, they're all top-notch. They really are. Like, when I say that I'm not as big a fan of Skyward Sword, that is admitting that Skyward Sword as a game is still a higher quality than so many other action RPGs. So it's not one that I actively seek out to be able to finish up, I guess. Alright. You agree about the perfect balance of hint and go forth? Yeah. There was enough linear direction with help, but all the help was optional, and all the extra stuff that you could do was there just waiting for you. It was kind of cool. It was definitely, in my opinion, the best designed Zelda game out of all of them. It's probably the best designed action RPG ever made, and I don't know that my opinion is ever going to change on that. I think it's going to be tough to beat, honestly. So let's remember, I need to get the heart piece in the light world, if it's still there. If it's not still there, then I have to go activate the water bit again. So that's unfortunate. We will lose a little bit of mirror time here, but not too shabby. Okay, it's still there. So let's grab some heart pieces. And we're getting close to the end here. This is going to be a big old fetch quest. And then once we get through the fetch quest, we'll be on our way to Turtle Rock. And then after that, will be Ganon's Tower and the end of the game. So we do have to make sure that for the purposes of this, that we remember the heart piece on the pyramid. We missed that on the way into the Dark World, and so we're gonna go get it again to complete our 100% journey. But the point at which we have to get it is going to be right before the Ganon fight. Unless we go to get it while we're getting silvers, but I think that's gonna be slower if we do that. I don't know. We'll have to gauge it. Those are the only two opportunities where I end up back at the pyramid, so we'll have to make sure we grab those. We're gonna go ahead and talk to the man under the bridge here, affectionately known as the Hobo. he's going to give us the final bottle. Tie a string on your finger so you can remember. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and purchase the big bomb, and then we'll be making our way up to the pyramid. And we're going to take advantage of the fact that in the light world, these two areas are connected, but in the dark world they're not. But once you beat Aghanim, every time you walk through Hyrule Castle's door, you'll get teleported back to the dark world. So what we're going to do is we're going to warp to the light world to walk across the bridge and then get warped back to the dark world. It saves a lot of time versus going around. So I'll go ahead and drop that there. Actually, I can go grab the heart piece now. And then we won't have to remember. Okay, so there we go. We fixed it. We're good to go. I forgot that I was going to have a 3-second delay in there anyways, so we might as well. Yeah. That's probably one of the trickier parts of doing a 100% run of this, is sometimes if you miss something, you have to backtrack through and try to figure out what you missed. And when it comes to heart pieces, that can be a little tricky. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait to activate this fairy again. And then we're going to get our upgraded sword, which is going to make Trinex a piece of cake in Turtle Rock. Ooh, you can take that string off. Yeah, I think in my personal best for this run, I did miss one heart piece, and it took me a while to figure out what it was. So I think I was going through all of Turtle Rock trying to figure out what this heart piece was while I was having to complete the dungeon. And I figured out that it was the Lost Woods one. So I ended up having to go to Ganon, or go to the Ganon fight, but then warp back to the light world and go get the heart piece and then get back to the pyramid, which was kind of a little tricky. Honestly in awe with how much I can remember. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's kind of just did I do this type thing. Did I do this? Oh, okay. Did I do this? Cool. Alright. It's a lot of just walking through the route, I guess. Yeah, it was a bummer, but you know, the good thing is I finished. I mean, if I couldn't remember what it was, I wouldn't have been able to finish the run, which would have been unfortunate because I was actually on really good pace. So. Okay. So let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 hearts left. So yeah, we're on pace. Because we'll have to get 4 heart pieces to make another complete heart, and then beating Trinex will give us a heart piece. So okay, all right. So yeah, we're in good shape. Because 4 heart pieces making 1 heart piece. 1 full heart piece, and then Trinex giving a full heart piece, and that'll be our remaining 2 hearts. We'll be at 20. Yeah, 2 hearts. Yes. You can actually walk along the edge there, but we're gonna do the hookshot bit for safety. And in case you didn't know, the game intends it. you can use the cape to walk through bumpers. So that's part of why you have to pick it up on the way. I see a heart piece. Yep. Then we'll go ahead and grab this one. This one opens up as soon as you beat Aghanim. Normally there are lumberjacks there. As soon as you beat Aghanim, the lumberjacks are gone, so you can bonk the tree and grab the heart piece. And then that's it for the heart pieces. We're gonna go ahead to pick up the one item that we need to beat Trinex that we don't have yet. It's off here in the corner. And that's going to be the ice rod. Cool. So obviously with Trinex, you got to use 2 different rods to freeze his heads in place so that you can deal damage to them. We don't want to forget to do that. It would be a massive time loss if we went all the way to Turtle Rock and all the way through and didn't have the rod. So making sure we remember that. Alright, and we're just gonna make our way over. So if we hop up here, it's gonna take us to the top of the mountain, and then we'll be headed over to what will be in the Dark World, Turtle Rock, which is aptly named. It looks like a giant turtle. And you'll see on top of the rock, one of the things that we have to do to get in is activate one of our medallions. Also, you might have just seen a glimpse of a heart piece there. That will be the last heart piece that we pick up. We're just gonna route it into everything else so that we can just kind of do this all seamlessly. Now you might notice that I skipped the blue mail upgrade. So the blue mail is available in Ice Palace, but the reason why we skipped it is because the requirement for 100% isn't necessarily that you collect all items, it's that you collect all the upgraded versions of each item. And since we know that there is a fully upgraded mail in Ganon's Tower, we don't bother at all with the Ice Palace one. We just skip it entirely. That's an intentional fall there. It just makes sure that we get through the door as quickly as possible. One of the other things to note is while you're using the hook shot, you do have invulnerability frames. So if something tries to hit you, it's not going to happen. We'll use that quite a bit in Turtle Rock. Yeah. Yep, it's all based around routing the most recent item. Which we also did an escape just for convenience. So. Still feels weird not picking it up, that's fair. We take advantage of the fact that the Switch gives us invulnerability frames again. And Chomp Room is a little bit rough, but we made it through. There we go. But yeah, so we take advantage of the fact that the Switch grants invulnerability frames to dodge the first cycle from the Chomps. And that gives us enough time to hit the Switch without getting damaged, and then go after the chest. Unfortunately, I had a chomp camping the chest there, so that was kind of unfortunate. Nice. It's alright, I have a fairy here. Be still, my heart. Yeah, it's dangerous, for sure. I need to kill that guy. He's got my key. There we go. There we go. Oof. Yeah, Turtle Rock is a little fun to do at, you know, almost 8 o'clock in the morning. But we got through it, no biggie, and we're gonna go ahead and make our way on out. We do have enough magic here to complete everything up to Trinex. And there is a full magic refill right before Trinex, so that's pretty helpful. Won't have to worry about that at all. We'll go ahead and switch to Fire Rod here so that we can take these guys out quickly and get the door open. I will take that. As a bit of insurance, we'll go ahead and take that full magic. And normally in no major glitches you wouldn't bother getting the mirror shield here. But we are doing 100%, so we do have to collect everything. In any percent no major glitches, you would just see them go right there. Because it does end up being fastest to skip the mirror shield. So what we're going to do is we're going to take advantage of the fact that these guys move with us to move them close enough into those gaps there to where we can hit them. And now we're one heart piece away, and we know exactly where that heart piece is. So normally the game wants you to use the Cane of Samaria there to place a block down and walk across it. But it turns out you can also hookshot yourself across the chests, so we go ahead and take advantage of that. It saves a little bit of magic. The hookshot movement is faster as well, so go ahead and grab a key. And here's the other room that we're going to take advantage of the hookshot invulnerability frames in. So these spinning fire things, you tend to have to like navigate around them and try to not get hit by them. But if you just use the hookshot, you won't take any damage from them because it grants you those invulnerability frames. So we use that to great effect there. And yeah, we're through. That's fine. The recoil from that guy is a bummer. But I'll go ahead and grab this key here. Taking advantage of our nice shiny mirror shield to not have to worry about that room at all. Those guys get a little dicey, so we'll just go ahead and stun him. But we'll knock this one out. And we're coming up on the fight. So under that other pot is a full magic refill. We actually don't need it here. Because we have half magic, and because we have the golden sword, this boss will take very little damage to kill. So They really put the feet to your fire in this area. Nice. Alright, and that was Trinex. With the golden sword and half magic, Trinex is kind of a piece of cake. All you gotta do with golden sword, once you've stunned the heads, is you hit the head. You hit each of the fire and ice heads 3 times. If you have the tempered sword, it takes 5 hits. And it's worth noting that if you have the tempered sword, you have to fire 2 shots with the fire rod or ice rod. You can't do it in one. But with the golden sword, you are able to get in all 3 hits before they unfreeze. So it's real simple. You just pick either the fire rod or the ice rod, depending on which head you start with. And then you fire that, do 2 hits, switch to the other rod, since when the heads are exploding, you can't menu. That's one of the weird quirks about it, is that it's technically like a cutscene type thing. So you can't menu while that's happening, so you menu before it. And then, yeah, you just go ahead and deliver the final hit, and go do the same thing to the other head. Thanks for the GG. And there we go. That was the final heart. We're now at 20 full hearts. The only thing that we need, the only remaining item to pick up is the red mail, which we'll be getting in Ganon's Tower. It's not too bad. We're around the 2-hour mark coming into Ganon's Tower. This is probably going to be about 2 hours and 12 minutes total for the entire run. We had really bad digging RNG, which probably accounts for most of that time loss. But you know what? That's one of the dangers of running this game 100%, is unfortunately you have to deal with that RNG element just a bit. Here we're going to take advantage of the fact that you can bonk into stuff and it sends you flying in the opposite direction. That's pretty nice. And this part is just a sequence of hitting switches and getting through obstacles and that type of thing. So, we'll grab the key there. And yeah, we're going to stand here to get some invulnerability frames on that switch piece so that we don't take any damage from the spikes. But here we will have to switch to the hookshot. The fire snake got a little friendly. And interesting to note that these walls you can actually hookshot onto. Just those, though. The normal walls to the room and the smaller walls don't work. So we take advantage of that a little bit. We're going to grab a few extra arrows here so that we don't have to pick them up in the big key room. And we're on our way to fight Ice Armos. So one of the things with Ganon's Tower is that you refight all of the Light World bosses, but they all have something a little different about them. So in the case of Ice Armos, you have a case where, well, you'll see momentarily, they're on ice. And then the other Light World bosses will have similar, different mechanics that make the fights a little bit harder if you're not wielding silver arrows. Silver arrows just happen to kill all of the Armos Knights in a single hit, so you don't really have to worry about that. One of the tricks that I use for keeping my positioning on the ice is I can use sword swings and hold a direction, and it'll send me flying in that direction. So it's really handy. Instead of just fumbling around on the ice, I can just kind of steer myself a little bit. And yeah, there we go. We got the red mail. So, red mail acquired. We are ready to complete the rest of the dungeon. So we're just gonna go ahead and walk over here, hit the switch, and we're good. So we take advantage of the fact that the mimics follow our movements to move against the wall there, or against that statue there, to line them up. We're going to do the same thing here to make sure that each of these die to our 2 arrow shots. That trick, you just walk into the room, and before you move left or right, you can move up and down to line them up perfectly for arrow shots. And as usual, silver arrows kill everything in 1 hit. So, not too difficult there. We'll just go ahead and activate the cape here so that we don't have to worry about any funny stuff there. And use the fire rod to get... the fire rod is a pretty good projectile weapon. That skeleton was kind of a bummer. Fire rod is a handy projectile to deal with some of these enemies that wander off. So. Okay. This part is affectionately called the gauntlet. Effectively, you have to go through this and fight a bunch of enemies in a bunch of different rooms. It tends to be a little challenging, but we got through it, no problem. We'll go ahead and pop this guy for a fairy. Thank you. And here we go. Oh, we almost got 3, but I got hit there. Again, silver arrows kill pretty much everything in 1 hit, so we made use of that with the lamellas. Another popular weapon there is the fire rod. The fire rod does a decent amount of damage to him, and after 2 hits from the fire rod, each lamo goes down. There we take advantage of the fact that the Cane of Samaria can damage enemies, and those Wizrobes only need 1 hit to go down. So we try to line up one of the cane blocks so that we can hit multiples of them at once. Oh, this could be a little tricky. We might not have enough time here, but we'll try it. Yeah, okay, we didn't. That fall there was pretty rough. Let's go do this again. That fall is intentional though. It gets us back to the door a little more quickly. And then we'll go ahead and fire that up. And we're through. We'll grab the full magic refill over here, just in case. There is another full magic refill coming up, but we wanted to make sure we had enough for this part. One of these guys has a key. It's this one. He's not giving it up. He's being super friendly. There we go. And yeah. At this point, I'm not too terribly worried about taking damage, because it does end up I have the red mail, so I don't really have to worry about dying here. Which, of course, I'm gonna say that, and then I'm gonna die, but... Let's hope that doesn't happen. And Moldorm goes down pretty quickly with the gold sword. The gold sword does the maximum damage in the game. There we take advantage of the fact that when you move the block, it doesn't have a solid representation of itself. So we hook shot right through it. Yeah, don't die. Okay, so that's 2. Aghanim 2 takes 6 hits total. So we're gonna try to line it up. I think that's 4. We're gonna try to line it up so that all his shots come here, so that we can just reflect them all back in the same direction. Alright, there we go. That's 6. So we are a little low on magic, but we should be good with silvers. So we're gonna go for some fast strats and see if we can maybe beat my my estimate of 212 from earlier. We might be able to. We're gonna risk it. Nope. We missed. No, whoa, nope, we tried. We went a little risky there. That's okay, though. So I do get to show off another thing here. There is a safety here, where, if you end up getting knocked down and you're low on magic, what you can do is you can hop in here, and if you toss a bottle in, it'll give you something good. So we're gonna head on over to our bottle, wherever it may be. There it is. Yeah, it's a bummer. We tried to get aggressive with it, and that's okay. So we got a nice little magic potion there. That should cover it. And we're gonna head back up and beat up the pig. Yeah, I knew I was running a little behind on time, so I was hoping to get a little bit of luck there, but turns out I actually had a pretty bad pattern there. Well, let's go ahead and pop this real quick. Okay. This should be enough hits, but we'll try some more. Oh, no, not the fire bats. There we go. Alright. We got there. We got this? Yeah. Nah, not too worried. We tried to go for a little bit of a risky strat there, and it did not pay off, unfortunately. He is camping this corner. That's not good for us. There we go. So what we were going for there is we were going for the what's called the torch glitch. And so what we do is normally when you fight this part of Ganon, the torches go out, and they go out left first. So if you relight the left torch before the right one goes out, then the right one never goes out. So we do that so that we only ever have to light the left torch. And I believe the torch glitch works in the English version also. Yep. Go ahead and skip that. And there we go. Yeah, we got him. That's a fake gold. Congrats, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was pretty good. The fall to Ganon, not so great. But we went for it because we were already not on a great pace. And the main reason for that is the digging game. The digging game lost us probably 6 minutes. So I was actually on pace, except for the digging game. But great run, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Like I said, if we had had a faster digging game, I would have gone a little safer on the Ganon fight, and we probably would have come in around closer to like a 205 or a 206. So, yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. You loved this whole time? Awesome. I'm glad to hear that, dude. You're exhausted. I can understand that, yeah. I'm kind of there. Working my way through my coffee, though, so we're good to go. Oh, God. I don't know that I can read that one out loud. That one's pretty bad. I love the puns, though. What a great day this has been. Yeah, it's a good start to a good day, hopefully. Yeah, and I have a little bit of time left. We'll probably be able to show off some stuff here. Wait, what? Yeah, I might be able to show off some more interesting stuff. I think we'll maybe do a little bit of glitching here in a minute. Next up is Rather Ripe with some Splatoon 2. Okay, cool. And he's... When is he coming up? That's later on this afternoon, right? Or is he following right after? I maybe didn't check the schedule. I'm slacking. Not until 3:30. Okay, that's kind of what I thought might be the case, but just wanted to check. I have time? Awesome. Well, I won't take too much longer, but we will have enough time to do a few tricks. But I'm going to go ahead and let the credits play out, and I'm going to step up for just a hot minute, and I will be right back. But I'll let y'all watch the credits while they go. Alright. Going to be firmly lurking? No, it's fine. It's all good, man. I appreciate your very active lurk. It's been a lot of fun. Alright. So we're just gonna let these credits run real quick to finish off. Hey, Waz! Good morning, dude. Welcome to the stream. I hope you got some good rest last night. We just finished up a 100% speedrun of Link to the Past. Had a little bit of sketchy digging game RNG there, but other than that, it went pretty well. Let's see. How was the run? Not too bad. Not too bad at all. It was good. Yeah, it was pretty good. So yeah, I figure we'll take another stab at that on my next morning sleepy speedrun action. But for now, we're gonna let the credits run down, and then we'll have just enough time to show off a few glitches, and we're gonna see if maybe we can show you some things that you maybe haven't seen with this game before. Turns out this game it's a little broken. There are some pretty major glitches in it. You wish you caught it? Oh, it's alright. We'll be doing it again next Thursday. I feel like this is probably going to be my mornings, honestly. It's one of those games that I've played so much I can just pick it up and go right for it. Definitely some parts that are a little harrowing first thing in the morning, you know. Some difficult parts, but overall, it's a fun thing to run. Older games didn't have patch options like newer ones. This is true. This is very true. Alright. So what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and reset this here. So we'll get rid of this, and I'm gonna go ahead and put my trademark smiley here. And we're gonna kill the timer here. I don't want to update that because I do have a fake gold in there, unfortunately. But what we'll do is we'll just let the timer run. I'm not gonna actually hit it for anything, but we're gonna see if we can maybe in the next, let's see, we got about half an hour left. We're gonna see if we can maybe do enough to get to where we almost beat the game. So this one I'm gonna have to ad-lib just a little bit. There are some things that we will have to pick up along the way, but we're gonna try to make quick work of it. So first stop is going to be escape an Eastern Palace. So Eastern Palace is going to give us the boots. The boots are going to help us pull off a decent number of glitches. So we definitely want those. And yeah, maybe I can just show off a few things. We'll run for the half hour, and then after that, wherever we end up, we'll have to go ahead and call it. But I'm thinking we can probably, with some good luck, we can probably make it into Ganon's Tower. So we'll aim for that. We'll see how it goes. Might even be able to make it farther, but we'll have to see. I guess I could have shown off the exploration glitch, but I guess we'll do that another time. Because that would make escape go by a little bit faster. So I'll save that for next time. Or I might have time to do it right after this, if we get fast enough. I think it's probably going to take about 11 minutes to get through Eastern. And then from there, we've got a few tricks that are going to take probably a combined total of about 10 minutes. So there's the boomerang that I skipped in 100%. I'll go ahead and grab it here, there's no reason not to. But the main reason why we skip the boomerang in 100% is if we don't pick up the boomerang there, the game, being as helpful as it is, decides to put the upgraded boomerang in a chest that we'll run into later. So it's trying to help us out, make sure we don't forget the boomerang. We take advantage of that to not have to go upgrade the boomerang ourselves. Because the game did it for us, so. Yeah. Actually, I can go ahead and show off the exploration glitch here. Neat thing about the boomerang? Yeah. It's pretty handy. It helps with the routing some. To get all of the 100% items. So what we're going to do is we're going to hop off this ledge. Oh, I thought I was going to save and quit there, but my select didn't happen, so let's do it again. But we're going to hop off the ledge here. And then while we're in midair, we're going to go ahead and save and quit. What that's going to do is that's going to make the game think that we're still trying to land on the ground. And so it doesn't really know where we're at. So we take advantage of that to get it to put us on the wrong plane. And we walk through walls. So this is a much faster way to get through escape. Much faster way. Yep. We'll just go ahead and just make our way through here. And we're just gonna walk under there. And we're back to the dark room. And there we go. So we made it out of escape. It's a little bit faster when you can walk through walls. So we're gonna go ahead and save and quit out of here because we are kind of on a little bit of a weird plane of the game there. So let's save and quit to Sanctuary so that we can go pick up our safety. Well, actually, yeah, let's pick up the safety here because we will have to go to Meyer shortly. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to pick up a bottle. So we don't need any money for this. There is a free bottle that we can pick up, so that'll be pretty nice. And then after that, we will save and quit back and go do Eastern as expected. So now our Eastern is probably going to finish up around 12 and a half minutes, which still isn't too bad. So let's go ahead and hop in here. And there's the bottle. We'll grab the bug net while we're here, because there might be a case where we can actually pick up a fairy. We might need it after a while. Okay, and then we'll save and quit out. So the reason why we need a bottle is because while we're in Eastern, we're going to do a potion glitch. But we're going to do it on our second trip into Eastern. So our first trip into Eastern is just beat Eastern Palace, get the boots, that type of thing. Get the bow, you know, important early game stuff. But after that, we're going to go back into Eastern. And yeah, we're going to see if we can break things a little bit. I need that money. Oh, almost. So one of the things I haven't really explained about the movement here is that I actually do, while I'm moving up the stairs, I press up right and up left, and it makes my character move slightly faster up the stairs. That allows me to skip over one of the guards there. Am I great at other Legend of Zelda speedruns too? So far, it's just this game. I want to learn Twilight Princess more. I know a little bit of the start of it, but I still need to learn the rest. I do at one point want to learn Zelda 1. It's definitely a harder run. And I think other than that, Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker would both be nice to learn. So, yeah, they're on the list. It's just this one is the one I'm most practiced at. For this game, I currently run 9 categories, I believe. I think it's 9. Wind Waker speedruns are crazy. Yeah, there's a door glitch that happens fairly early in the game. But there's also like the fast boat thing, like the fast swimming mechanic. I don't know. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild to watch. But I think it'd be fun, you know, at some point. At some point it might be nice to be a runner that knows how to run almost every Zelda game. It'd be pretty cool. So what we did there is called the big key skip. Normally the game wants you to beat all of the enemies in the room there. And then once you beat all the enemies, all those anti-fairies spinning around that pot will fly away, and you can pick up the pot and hit the switch. Well, we don't feel like doing that because that's really slow. So what we do is we damage boost into the fairies, and then we just pick up the pot anyways. I actually sort of needed that money, but that guy was chasing me, so I'm not going back for it. That's okay though. We can farm a little bit of money coming up. It's just kind of less convenient too. Or actually, no, that's right. We don't have to. We'll get it from a chest. All right. And there we go. 1126 for Eastern is pretty good. That's pretty good. I thought we were going to lose more time than that, but we didn't. So, yeah. That Armos setup is the one I always go for, and it's pretty consistent. But I think I might be the only player that goes for that setup. Most players do different positioning on that. But that one's been the one that always worked for me, so... Silky smooth. Yeah. Yeah, it's one definitely a feel-good fight. If you get it right, it is pretty awesome. We might actually have enough money to buy bombs, which is going to be a little relevant here. So, we picked up a few bombs there, but let's go ahead and save and quit out. So the next thing we need to do is we need to grab a green potion. And the green potion is going to be part of our trick to maybe improve a little bit about... about how quickly we're going to get some of these items. So we're going to try a potion warp here shortly. Just got to grab the potion first. So making our way through to the potion shop. And it's 60, so we will have enough to buy bombs, which is nice. Because there is a trick, there's going to be a trick in Ganon's Tower if we actually start getting through there. Where I'm going to need to... a trick in Ganon's Tower where it might take me a few tries. And it does involve bombs. So it's going to be nice to just buy a full arsenal of bombs. So we save and quit there. That save and quit is actually pretty important because we did just buy a potion. If we mess this trick up for whatever reason, we can always just restore our save and go get our potion again. Or have our potion again, rather, not have to go get it. And then, yeah, we'll give it another try. But this should be fine. And yeah. So we're coming up on that skeleton room again. That skeleton room is where we're gonna try to do our potion glitch. And that skeleton room is in a very important position. So it turns out that 2 screens above that skeleton room is another dungeon. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to go through the door of that skeleton room into another dungeon. So let's go ahead and pop that. Alright, so this I have to line up a little precise. This door is going to drag me in a little bit. So this one's a little pixel perfect. No. That might have been it. Let's see. No. We drank the potion. That's unfortunate. Alright, so we'll try this again, and we'll see how it goes. I do like showing this one off, though. This is one of those tricks that people are usually like, oh, wow, that I didn't know that was a thing. And it is, unfortunately, only a thing in the Japanese version of the game. Potion glitches do not work in the regular English version, or any other Japanese version other than the 1.0 version of Link to the Past. But this one is a little precise. I have to actually line up my shadow in the doorway, which gets to be a little finicky, but we're going to try it again. It's pretty cheap to try again, so... if we get it, it will still save us a lot of time, because of the dungeon that it sends us into. So let's get back over to the skeleton room again, and we'll give it one more try. Oh, well, that's no fun. Get out of here. There we go. Alright, so let's dump some magic, because we're gonna have to be able to... We're gonna have to be able to activate the potion here. And the reason why I'm using the select menu there is because the door is pulling me in. So I'm trying to buffer the point at which I go through the door to be on a specific pixel. There we go. So you can tell it worked if it refills your health. And yeah, now we're at the entrance to Misery Mire. Oh god. Oh, this is kind of bad. I gotta be a little careful here. Alright. Because these things can actually cause a lot of damage to me. Shocking. You went to a different dungeon and everything's too strong. That's so cool, thanks. I appreciate it. It's a pretty fun party trick to pull off. So the other thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take advantage of the fact that we got the big key in Eastern Palace to get the cane. And the cane is another item that's gonna allow us to do some pretty broken stuff. But first, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hop back here, say hi to Zelda. She's gonna refill our health. It's super helpful. Thank you so much. Alright, so we got a series of other glitches that we're gonna do here. So that potion warp did allow us to get into that dungeon and get the Cane of Samaria early. Normally you need the Ether Medallion and like Titan's mitts and the flute and all that other stuff. We just did it with a potion warp. So what we did there is we clipped into the side of the mountain, and on a specific pixel we pressed down and right. And what that did is that actually warped us up a screen. And up a screen just happens to be the base of Death Mountain. So we're able to climb Death Mountain without needing the power gloves. And then we just go in here. That weird looking cave that we walked into is the cave where you rescue the old man. So we just went in there backwards. We're gonna walk in the back door, get the old man, walk back out. That's funky? Yeah, it's pretty funky. There are a lot of glitches that let you sequence break pretty heavily. We're gonna use a variant on it coming up here, where we're gonna walk through this corner, and it's gonna take us all the way up to the entrance to the Tower of Hera. So we screen wrapped around to the top of the screen, and that allowed us to get to the entrance to the Tower of Hera. We just kind of had to know where to walk a little bit because the game wasn't really showing us where we were standing. Because, you know, we were kind of in a wall. So the main reason why we're here is because we want the Moon Pearl. So we're going to get the Moon Pearl, and then we're going to book it out of here. Because that will be all we need from the Tower of Hera. Oh, and this room is affectionately called the coffee break room. So what you can do is you can activate the switch while you're standing over the blocks that it pushes up. And when you do that, the game doesn't really know where to put you back down. So you just stay on top of those blocks with permanent invulnerability frames. So we call it a coffee break room because you kind of can just do that and not have to worry about the controller for a little bit while the tiles go. It's pretty nice. That pot is always a bomb. In the normal not glitched run, that bomb is actually really helpful. If you're not running 100%. If you're running 100%, you already have bombs. But if you're not, that one bomb allows you to do the bomb jump coming up. So we're gonna go for that because it is a fast trick, so you know, we're all about going fast here. We did not get it though. That bomb positioning was not great. So we're gonna go for it again. I actually might be able to hit it from here. There we go. Normally I don't have a way to hit that switch, so I would have to end up mirroring out. But because I don't need the bomb here. Hey, Alex, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, that bomb jump's a little bit of a mess, but we have enough bombs to do it again, so a little bit of a sloppy setup there, but not a problem at all. We'll go for it again. That's one of the dangers of missing that bomb jump, though, is that you do fall down that hole. It does cost a little bit of time. Oh my god. I only have enough hearts to do this once. There we go. Alright. So we got the Moon Pearl. That's what we were there for. So the next trick that we're gonna do is we're going to go into the Dark World, and normally when you go into the Dark World, you can't get off of Death Mountain. The game wants you to beat Aghanim and go that normal way and get to the pyramid and all that good stuff. But we're not going to do that. We're going to run over here, jump out this corner, and then just walk down the mountain. You might notice the graphics are a little messed up right now. That is because we transitioned from one screen to another, and the game didn't get time to load the palette. So it's a little confused right now, but that's okay. It's not going to last very long. Next stop is going to be Thieves Town. We're going to go ahead and hop in here. We're at low health, so we're going to take an immediate death here. Because since we're in Thieves Town, when we die, it's going to take us back to the entrance of Thieves Town. So that's pretty helpful. So we're going to go ahead and drop down here. We're going to grab the big key, and we want the Titan's Mitts. There is a faster way to do this that involves some mirror warping. It's not nearly as interesting to watch, so we're just going to do the Thieves Town route instead. And then after that, we should have enough time to meet our goal of getting into Ganon's Tower. And then I should be able to show off one of the final glitches in there, and that'll probably be us wrapping up. Not much, just chilling. Cool, man. I'm kind of doing the same. Playing my favorite game, so I cannot complain. So all we're in here to do is grab the Titan's Mitts, which means we are going to take a little bit of a faster route through here. Because all we need is the key from here. We do need to hit the switch, so we're going to do that shortly. There we go. And then, yeah, let's just make our way downstairs. So we do need one key while we're downstairs. We've already picked it up, so we should be pretty good to go. The only unfortunate thing about this is that we are going to have a way to kill all the enemies in this room because we don't have any gloves. So this guy is going to take a while. He has a lot of health. Okay, there we go. So normally I would pick up that big rock and I wouldn't have to mess with any of this, but unfortunately we don't have that luxury because we don't have the gloves. Oh, why am I going this way? I can go this way. And I'm missing the hammer though. Forgot to grab hammer. Dope. Alright. So let's go ahead and save and quit out. Yeah, thanks for the shout. I appreciate it. So what we'll do is we're coming up on the 30-minute mark, and I do have one more thing I want to show off. This one's going to be a little precise, so it might take me a few tries, but that's okay because we've got a couple minutes. So had I gotten the tempered sword, I would be ready to go into Ganon's Tower. And Sleepy Brain me didn't even think about the hammer, so we'll just gloss over that part. But the way into Ganon's Tower this early. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to clip into this corner here. So we want to clip just into that wall, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take advantage of some select buffering to line ourselves up. We're gonna get up here right to about this corner, and then jump down and right, and walk into the entrance to Ganon's Tower. So it's a similar principle as what we used with getting to the Tower of Hera. I'll go ahead and grab this, why not? Similar result as to getting to the Tower of Hera, in that we clip through a corner of that wall, and what it does is it teleports us up to the top of the screen. In the top of the screen is Ganon's Tower. So unfortunately we don't have the hammer here. There is another trick to get the hammer, and I think what we'll do, so I got to show that off. I'm going to show off one more trick for getting the hammer. And this is probably the easiest setup to get the hammer. So what we're going to need first is we're going to need some money. So we're going to go farm some money real quick. This spot up here is a really good spot to farm some money, because what we're going to be able to do is we killed 2 enemies there. It might give me greens. Oh no, okay, we're at blues. Okay. So what I have to do to reset this tree so that it gives me red rupees, is I have to kill 4 enemies. So I killed 2 birds, 1 of those pickles, and the plant thing there. So unfortunately, I think I killed the 2 before that. Before I pulled? Okay, yeah. So let's go for the 4 here. This should reset it. I haven't normally come up there where I have to attack the birds first, so it's a little interesting, but we did get our reds there. This should give me enough. I need a blue potion now. So we're going to go grab the blue potion. And then we're going to have to save and quit out for safety. Just in case. We won't have enough money to do this again. So we kind of want to make sure we hold on to that potion. Well, and I've got to get back up to Death Mountain anyways. Because that's going to be part of it. Okay, so let's go buy a blue potion. The reason why I want a blue potion this time instead of the green is the potions all have different effects on screen transitions depending on what floor you use them on and where you use them. So the blue potion, when you're outdoors at the edge of a screen, activates a very important effect that you'll see shortly. I don't want to spoil it, but if you've ever played Link to the Past, you will probably immediately recognize the effect. Okay, so we use our handy-dandy glitch there to get back up to the Tower of Hera. It's faster to do that and run up to the portal than to run up the mountain normally. So we'll go ahead and make our way over here to this side of the screen. We're gonna bonk here. I need to make sure I don't have any magic there though. Yes, this is the Japanese version. So what I did was I activated a blue potion on the same frame that I walked to the side of the screen. And what it did is it activated the flute menu in the Dark World. So you can hear the Dark World sounds a little bit behind me. And this is very obviously the Dark World, but the music is the Light World. The palette is the Light World. The game is just a little confused about where I am. And also, if you've played Link to the Past, you'll know this monkey is gonna practice all the extortion, gonna get all the rupees out of me. Unfortunately, I do not have enough rupees here, so I'm not gonna be entering Palace of Darkness. But I did just want to show off that one last trick. I am actually going to have to wrap up here. This is the end of the scheduled time. But yeah, this is the Japanese version. As you can tell from the text on the screen, A lot of the glitches are specific to the Japanese version. So yeah, it makes for a good running thing here. Oh, I didn't get to show my one last glitch for Ganon's Tower. Maybe we have time for that. We'll see if we can get the entry to Ganon's Tower on first try again. We'll try to do that. Oh, yeah, okay. I can still do that one. Had to think for a minute there. I'm kind of ad-libbing at the moment. Because I didn't have enough time to do another full run of a glitched category. So I kind of just wanted to show off some glitches. So what we're going to do is we're going to revisit the glitch that we used before to get into Ganon's Tower. And then we're going to skip almost the entirety of Ganon's Tower. So we're going to line up so that we can walk through this corner here. Oh, no. That's off the ledge, yeah. So if you jump out of the ledge there, you do get stuck. So we'll try it again. That's what I was trying to avoid last time. But that's okay. We can give it another shot. Some of these glitches are a little execution heavy, so... But yeah, most people run specifically the Japanese 1.0 version of this game. And that's because it does have some glitches that are specific to this version. The main one that's probably used in runs is spin speed, which allows you to move a lot quicker than you should normally be able to. Yeah, all the warps. Oh, well, okay. That's not quite what I'm aiming for there. We'll try one more. One more try. I don't have much more left after that, but... one more shot. That one's a little tricky. It's much easier with the hook shot. There's a different setup for it. But... that one's a little harder. Yeah, I know I mentioned it before, but in case it needs repeating, this game is a little broken. There are a lot of crazy things you can do. If I can't get this, I can show another little interesting trick. So, let's see. We're just gonna go ahead and buffer here to be careful. No, almost. No, okay. We'll go with the backup trick. The backup trick's almost as good. I say almost as good in that it's equally entertaining, but... yeah, those tricks are a little hard to do. That one, usually what I do there is I try to get the hook shot to make that a little bit easier of a setup. But we don't really have time for that. So we're gonna go with the other trick, which is getting to Turtle Rock. So normally the game wants you to do all this stuff where you get the gloves and you know, you get Quake and all this other stuff, and you can get to the point where you can get into Turtle Rock. But what we're gonna do is we're just gonna clip into the side of this mountain and just kind of walk up it, and then jump over the edge into nothing. And yeah, we'll just go ahead and hop out here. Seems good. And then pop through this corner and walk through the door. And there's the big chest of Turtle Rock. So if we were able to open that, which we're not because we don't have a big key, then we would be able to get the mirror shield. So a lot of the corner clipping stuff, the clipping into the mountain, it's very reliant on the boots, which is why in a lot of categories you get the boots from defeating Eastern Palace. So yeah, that's pretty much that. I think that's going to be about all the time I have. So yeah, I think I'll go ahead and wrap up now. But thank you everyone for coming out and watching and, you know, just hanging out and seeing the fun. This is my favorite game to run. I feel like I could probably run it just about every day of the week, so I thought it'd be a great choice to start with. Yeah, but on that note, I think what we'll do is, yeah, we'll go ahead and finish up. Thanks for the stream, can't wait to watch more. I appreciate that. I'm also looking forward to getting to do more things like this. Not just 100%, but, you know, other categories as well. So, yeah. So, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. I hope everyone enjoyed, and I hope you all have a great day. And I will see you later on. Bye-bye now. Yeah, and definitely toss me a follow. Please. I love it. Thanks. Bye-bye now.